We've now got a talk by Andrew Suttle talking about App Inventor, NodeRED and IoT.
Okay, so I'll be doing a talk on App Inventor to Lightwave, basically a main socket talking over wireless or radio. This started with a project to control power socket from the Raspberry Pi. So what Lightwave? The Lightwave uses radio signals to turn sockets on and off. A cheap radio transmitter can be added to the Raspberry Pi GPIO pins and can be controlled through a Python program. The picture up there is actually not the ones we've got. There would actually be an easier option, but we decided to take the very long, hard way around it. App Inventor. App Inventor is written by Google and supported by MIT, the same people who support Scratch. It uses the same interface as Scratch, but it allows you to make programs for Android devices. It also supports Bluetooth client server. So client, you need to have one device a client, one device a server to get them to talk. And in this case, our tablet is the client. NodeRED is an IBM developed solution for coordinating lots of programs together. It is a simple interface, dragging blocks onto a screen. There are Python libraries for Bluetooth control and communication with WebSockets. You can also download lots of blocks that other people have written, and these include these in a NodeRED flow. So there's a nice picture of someone who's done a NodeRED flow. Put it all together. This is how it should be. We should have the Android phone or tablet here, talking on the Bluetooth app, going on to the Bluetooth server, then going on to NodeRED, which talks on the Raspberry Pi, and then the Raspberry Pi broadcasts over the radio to the Lightwave socket. But my dad there is now going to come up and explain that his part is going wrong, the Bluetooth server.
That bit didn't work. But,
and I think it's important to him, so he's doing it. And the Bluetooth app, so if I head back to when we had App Inventor, and I'd like to discuss on how we get App Inventor to talk to the tablet. So first of all, you need to upload it on to test your program. So you start with the MIT App Inventor 2 companion, and it gives you the option of 6-character code there. And if I exit my slideshow and go onto Chrome, I may be able to show you. So connect, you'd hit AI companion. At the moment I haven't got these two connected over Wi-Fi. Then it will give you a 6-character code. I can just show you. It's telling me that I can't find anything. So AI companion, and it will give you a 6-character code, which then you enter here, hit connect with code, and then your app should appear here over Wi-Fi between these two. I'll head back to my presentation. So now downside. So I'll take it here. At the moment, we got the Lightwave socket can be controlled with Raspberry Pi over NodeRED, and the Raspberry Pi can see the tablet. Okay. The Bluetooth app seems to work. The Bluetooth server, thanks to him, doesn't work. NodeRED works very well, as I said, and I'd like to now do the final roundup, which is any questions?
can you show us your actual application?
Actual application would be, okay, this is the application we're going to get running.
Should be able to put it under here. gone right. It's HDMI 4. I'll get it to. I get this thing working again because I seem to have taken it out of the wrong setting.
Later Bluetooth set.
Sorry.
Save me a sec.
I pressed the wrong button on this. Oh, there we go. That's better. Ah, got it. Right. So, go. It's quite bright. So, yes. There we go. I think that's a bit better.
So now I'll take this up and go back to my. So there's the application, if you can see it now.
Yes, we can see out the moment.
So that's the application which which at the moment says it's and also on the Raspberry Pi it actually knows when this is connecting. So I say connected device, it automatically wants to find the Raspberry Pi, but it's going to probably tell you never. Eventually, we'll have a crash it. Unable to connect to the device is the device donor. So there's my error.
But it's not here at the moment, is it?
Yeah, it's probably packed away in the car somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah.
So
Can you show us the code then?
code.
No, the code on your.
I'll show you the code here. Escape. And then got that one. Code. You just go into box and thank you. Probably it's because of that one. Oh, what does it say here?
Go to CamJam 2. See whether that should work. Connect. And Raspberry, all in lowercase, but it's the at. It's an at symbol instead. So where's the thing? The at symbol.
And I'll just get rid of my arm, which I didn't do.
Oh, you did too, did you? We'll see.
I've missed tight. I've missed tight. Who now knows the password?
So, well, it loads for half an hour. So, I'll see. It still. Oh,
That's got no internet access.
so, fortunately, let's do that. So, go back onto. So, questions.
Any questions? If there aren't any, I might have to explain why the Bluetooth didn't work.
Yes, why didn't the Bluetooth work?
It's a very complicated thing. Yeah. Okay. Bluetooth. There were multiple problems with getting the Bluetooth to work. Anyone here who's ever got Bluetooth working on a Raspberry Pi? Right. Did you use the Pi Blues library? Okay. There are issues with the PyBlues library if you're running it under Python 2.7, where some of the functions don't exist. You therefore have to, or you don't have to, but the option I ended up taking was I went back to an older library, older Bluetooth library, which was far more complicated to use, but in theory was all there. Then if you're familiar with Bluetooth, there are two basic protocols, so the RF-COM protocol, and there's also a single packet protocol called something else. So we were running as RF-COM, and I wrote an RF-COM server, which should have worked fine, and for some reason it was connecting. It was staying connected for about a second or so and then dropping. So then I loaded a series of Bluetooth debug routines, which allowed me to actually run to and be one line at a time, pretend to be the server, issuing commands and so on. And that was also having problems with the connection. So I got back to the point where I was starting to think it was something to do with the Bluetooth connection from App Inventor. So I started playing around with that, and the issues I had there is that it's a blocky interface, which means that everything's hidden behind the block, so you can't actually get to the code to see what's going on. But I could get it to issue various commands at various points, which I was picking up, so that seemed to be doing something. So went to an alternative design, where the alternative design was basically that it would follow you around and turn lights on as it picks up your device. So as you move around, it picks up your device as you're walking around and turns lights on when you're within a certain radius, which seems to work. So we've got some Python code that works doing that. Wrote a little socket program which could run in NodeRED, which picked that up. Then I hit another problem with the tablet, because the tablet refuses to stay discoverable. So it only stays discoverable for 5 seconds at a time, and I could find no way to generally leave that on.
2 minutes
So
actually. 2 minutes.
it's about 2 minutes. It wasn't long enough. So I tried various things to fix the Bluetooth bit, but unfortunately that's my only contribution to this, and it's the only bit that didn't work. Yeah.
Did you try to do it on WebSockets?
I didn't try to do the Bluetooth on WebSockets. I was doing WebSockets for the Python program that picks, so I had a Bluetooth program that picks up the ID of the devices you're walking around, validates your IDs in a list, and if so, opens a WebSocket and pushes a message in. When that worked, and no, that didn't work. The other end of the WebSocket did work. I wrote a WebSocket listener that sits in NodeRED and listens for that coming in, and if that comes in, turns the light on. So the listener in NodeRED was working, but the other one wasn't working, and it was to do with, I think it was to do with the encoding, because I was using the encoding from a different library. And that was as far as I got playing with that. So, yeah, errors with the Bluetooth.
Did you not try until using App Inventor to do HTTP request to NodeRED using WebSockets?
I can't work out with
So,
that. Can you use the Bluetooth? If you go to the App Inventor site, do you get Bluetooth and HTTP request options?
HTTP request, no, that's in NodeRED. They do get Bluetooth options.
Right. Do you have that option?
Client or server.
Yeah, you did client or server.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Andrew.
So.